Yeah, Spot the Willie. You know, the madness of some game shows has inspired very funny satires on many of our top comedy shows, but perhaps the definitive spoof of the excesses of television games is this outrageous British takeoff.
There are prizes galore for each Willie you spot.
Well, I hope you've enjoyed the show so far, and we'll be right back after these messages. Messages, you say? Are we all tuned to the right channel? Commercials on HBO? No, marketing is not our motive here. We just want to show you what the rest of the world is being sold and how.
Et voici Trisa, brosse à dents rechargeable à dentifrice liquide. Un coup de pouce, chut, Trisa est prêt.
As in this country, around the world, popular sports are often used to sell products.
Vraiment pratique pour se laver les dents dès qu'on en a envie. Trisa, brosse à dents rechargeable à dentifrice liquide incorporé. Chut.
İşte Simtel Süper'in dayanıklılık testi.
If the vacuum throw had been an Olympic event, the Turks would have come away from Los Angeles with at least one gold medal.
Simtel Süper'in süper emme gücü. Simtel Süper.
When they're not watching vacuum throws, the Turks enjoy watching marathons like this one. Actually, I don't know who in Turkey was able to enjoy this particular race on television, since it looks as if the entire population of the country is running in it. One interesting feature in a Turkish marathon is the wide range of sporting apparel, running the gamut from the conventional to a dress and high heels. Notice that the TV reporter there is engaged in participatory journalism. It's near the beginning of the race, and his subjective approach is giving his viewers a runner's eye view of the proceedings. It's now later in the race, and as you can see, the reporter has run out of wind. He has now opted for the objective approach, since there he is, sitting riding on the back of the truck. Baseball, very popular sport in Japan. In fact, during the season, it's among the top 5 television shows, and Japan has over 30 million television sets. The outfield fences come in a bit more than ours, which produces a lot more home runs, and the fans eat fried noodles instead of hot dogs. But basically, of course, it's the same game. In both countries, the position of umpire could very well be the most dangerous job in baseball. It certainly seems true in Japan. Fans in both countries are constantly proving that they really are frustrated players. And in this case, frustrated umpires. Where the two countries seem to part company is on the question, look at this, of what constitutes a playable field. Americans are familiar with French movies, and if you don't like to go to those art movie houses, you can, of course, see them on television. But when it comes to French television, most of us are still in the dark. And so to tell us about it, let's go to our around-the-world correspondent, seen here in a very familiar Parisian setting, Shelley Carabel.
It's really beautiful, isn't it, George? But I'll bet you didn't know that Gustave Eiffel's architectural masterpiece is more than just a pretty facade. Actually, the Eiffel Tower is France's biggest television antenna. This TV antenna beams programs to France's 55.5 million people for about 10 hours a day on the country's 3 state-owned and operated channels. 1 out of every 2 people in France has a TV set, according to the 1984 census. More than 14.5 million of these sets are in color. The most popular brands are those manufactured in France, for example by Thomson, the state-owned and managed electronics company. Japanese sets are not big sellers here, and American brands are virtually unknown. But American programming is known. Dallas was one of the best-loved shows on French TV until the French decided to make a serial of their own called Chateau Vallon. It's the story of a French winemaking family. Dallas and Dynasty are indeed among the most popular TV programs here in France. But the French, like the Americans, enjoy a good talk show. Michel Druquet is Paris's Johnny Carson. His weekly talk and variety show is consistently in the French top 10. Druquet's rival is Stéphane Collaro. It's a sort of Sesame Street for adults with a bit of the Saturday Night Live satire thrown in. His show is called The Cocorico Cowboy. Les Jeunes, as children are referred to in French TV lingo, have their own weekly variety show. All these shows are part of the state-run broadcasting services on 3 national French channels. But in the last 3 years, private, non-government television has been taking off. First of all is France's subscription TV cable channel, Canal+. It's very much patterned on America's home box office, with a selection of movies and unusual programming for the viewer who wants to put his money where his tastes are. There is already some pseudo-piracy of American TV success stories. This game and adventure series, called The Game of Truth, is a takeoff on the tried-and-true American favorites, Candid Camera and Truth or Consequences. The idea is you sneak up on a celebrity and get him or her to fess up to the truth. But some things in French TV are bound not to change, no matter whether they're on state or private television. So you see, George, the French don't import American TV as much as they copy it or create their own version. It's one more way the French have of saying, Vive la France.
Thank you very much, Shelley. I have a notion, actually, about those television viewers of the French exercise programs. I would guess that half are exercising their bodies and the other half are most surely their eyes.